You guys see that? You know what that means? It's a fresh pencil.
Welcome back, this is Shukijo. We start off this sketch with some warm-ups. I'm trying to figure out how the pose is going to work and how much space I'm actually going to need. The idea for this drawing was to have a like a female fist fighter, and then I had the idea to make it more of a tribal type of character, and then for an animal theme I went with a tiger. So I've had to speed up this video a little bit because it's about 90 minutes worth of drawing and I can barely narrate for 10. So after I got that practice in, I was ready for the final picture. I had to go a little bit back and forth at the beginning, make sure I got the pose down right, how I had practiced it, because I really liked the way it was before, but I had erased way too much and the picture was going to end up looking kind of bad, so I decided to start with a fresh page. So since this was kind of a big drawing, I tried to get all my outlines and kind of like big shapes down pretty bold right off the bat before I go into detail, because it can get smudged pretty easily. So I want to get the details in last. I also go for the hand pretty early because that's kind of away from everything else. I won't really have to worry about that. When I get onto drawing the back arm, I started with the shoulder and kind of moved down to where I think the elbow would be, and then back up to where the hand should be. And then finish it off with a fist, which I had to then make it a little bit bigger. I decided that I want to have some fur gauntlets, so I left space for that, and then I moved on to the face. I pretty much get most of the face down, and then I don't really come back to it towards the end of the drawing. I kind of worked my way down and then back up for this. It's kind of hard to tell at the like with the final picture, but I decided to add some tiger claw earrings to help with the overall theme of the character. And I actually was pretty happy with the eye placement. I think I got it pretty much right on at the beginning. I wanted the hair for this character to be pretty spiky and to have a like fur bun at the end. I was originally thinking of having a kind of short ponytail, but just with the way that it kind of flowed at the time, I decided to bring it back over the shoulder. And I think it kind of maybe draws the eyes a little bit more either to the face or the fist. As I started drawing the gauntlet or guard on her wrist, I put it in black, and then I decided since the hair and her wrist guard were kind of the same spot, I decided that I would make the hair more of a lighter color. I chose to give her a fur skirt with some sort of pendant attaching it, and I kind of just decide later what that's going to be, but I just left it there and kind of brewed on the thought until I actually had to get around to it. Here I pull out one of my best drawing tools, just a folded piece of notebook paper, and I find that it's really helpful for not smudging because you can kind of just place it there, and as long as you're not dragging it around too much, it's way better than if you had your hand there, because the sweat's going to pick up a lot of that graphite, and then next time you place your hand back down, it's going to put a big imprint of the ball of your hand right in the paper. I do tend to get a little bit off camera on this, and there's actually a part close to the end where I kind of skipped over just because it's completely off camera for a good 30 seconds. I really like filling in just large areas in black, like where there's shadow, just so the things in the foreground kind of pop a little bit more. Kind of, I guess you'll see that in like a lot of ink type of drawings. Here, I thought that just with the shoulder, the way I had originally drawn it, made her back look way too flat, so I drew the spine in and then gave a shadow with a little bit of highlight on the top of the shoulder, and that kind of changed the whole drawing and made it all a lot darker, like a much more high contrast drawing. I start filling in large areas of shadow, which is plain black, and then once I have all those down, along with the stripes on her back, I go in and put in kind of mid-tone type of shadows, and it makes the rest of it a lot more rounded. The thing that took up most of the time with this drawing was putting in all these pieces of fur. I go between drawing points where the fur's sticking out to kind of round lines around the shape, just so it doesn't look as messy with the final product. I go back in and I have to make sure the inside pieces where it's going to be touching black, I make sure the outlines are bold and there's enough negative space so that when I put in that black, it's not covering up all those pointy bits of fur on the inside. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, I had to speed the video up because of all the time that I spent drawing this picture. The first part where I was drawing the practice stuff, I had to speed that up to 16 times, and the current drawing is at 8 times speed. And when I finally get to the hair, I just get really excited to finally finish up with the face, and I know I'm on the home stretch of this drawing. I get to add a little bit of shadow on the side of her face, and then I need to go in and kind of draw in the hands the rest of the way. I decide to make the underside of the knuckles pretty dark, just because I had so much bold shadow on the body, I needed to follow along with that. And I tried to make it look like her knuckles are kind of scarred. And actually, the bold shading made drawing her right hand a little bit easier because I could just really just fill in black on the curled up part of her fingers. After doing a little bit of erasing, I decided that I need to actually go in and draw this pendant piece on her skirt, and I kind of just make a vague tiger face. I'm not really that happy with it. Kind of just looks like a jack-o'-lantern, but I had to kind of do something there. Here's that part where I had to skip. All I do is draw a little mark on her leg, just like she has on her back. So this drawing's wrapping up. All I really had to finish up was kind of putting some detail in the hair and erasing some of the smudges and cleaning it up a bit. If I could have made some changes to this, I would have maybe spent some time figured out what that pendant was going to be and maybe do some smoother shadows, but I kind of thought it was a little interesting how it came out. And at the end of the video, I'll show the final picture, and I'll also have links to my DeviantArt and my Twitter in the description. Keep sketching.